Radio check, loud and clear. You guys should be able to hear me. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and welcome along to the coverage of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Here we are in Bahrain, a couple of weeks on from pre-season testing, and we'll be 30 minutes away from the start of free practice 1. Currently up on the screen we have got the finishing times of the Japanese Grand Prix, and we'll be underway with the data of the Bahrain Grand Prix very, very soon. Okay, yeah. So thank you everyone for tuning in, and we'll be 30 minutes from getting underway. We've got quite a bit of news to run through to see what's going on in the Formula One world as we build our way up to the start of FP1. We will probably see a little bit less running than we typically do in a practice session, just because, of course, all of the teams have done pre-season testing at this circuit, and given that they've done pre-season testing, it's very unlikely that they have got a lack of data. They're going to have, in fact, so much information on this Bahrain Grand Prix circuit. We're not going to see huge amounts of testing. However, there is one critical factor, one thing that changed so much from pre-season testing to the actual to today. It is much warmer here in Bahrain. Pre-season testing temperatures were around 20 degrees air temperature, maybe 15 degrees air temperature. Now it is up to 35 degrees air temperature in Bahrain, 20 degrees hotter. The track temperature is even going to be even higher, and that means the tyres are going to behave totally differently. The grip levels are going to be totally different, and your balance between your front tyres and your rear tyres will also be different. So due to that, we will have the teams actually going out and doing some running, getting some information, and they'll also have a good chance, if they have brought any upgrades, now will be a good chance to test them out, because, well, firstly, you'll have a huge, copious amount of data to compare them against from pre-season testing. The before and the after. Do the upgrades make the car faster? Do they not? Yeah. Alright, hello everyone. We've got 500 people tuned in. That is fantastic, fellas. Yeah. Best Bahrain race has to be that one between Charles and Max in 2022. Yeah, that was a fantastic race. Yeah, do have to say that. I think Seb Vettel's race in 2018, the one that he won on doing a super long one-stop strategy, was also pretty good. But that's obviously because I'm a Seb Vettel fan. Alpine have become dark pink. Indeed, they have. I have changed the colours around a little bit for this weekend, just to make it a little bit more clear. Last weekend now, I myself was getting a little bit confused between all of the different colours. So I've made the Alpines pink, and I have made the Alpha Tauris, instead of being a different shade of blue to the Williams, I've just made the Alpha Tauris totally white, because the V-Carb livery is just pretty much all white, so I decided that was a fitting colour for them, and I think it just makes it a little bit more clear as to what is going on. Okay, let's see, what else have we on? What sites can I watch F1 on for free? It's not available in my country. Well, I don't think you can really watch it for free unless you're in Austria, but there is a link in the description for F1 TV Pro that will get you all of the coverage, all of the onboards, all of the team radios for a fairly decent price. Okay, who are the drivers being replaced in this session? Well, I'll run through that very, very shortly, actually. We do have a couple of drivers being replaced. That is purely just because of the fact that all of the drivers have done testing at Bahrain before. They've done a lot. They have a lot of experience. I mean, if in fact all of the drivers on the current grid have either got the most experience at the Bahrain circuit or at the Spanish Grand Prix circuit. Those are the two circuits where they've raced at most. So this is one of the safest choices to put in a rookie driver and then not lose out too much for the other drivers. I will have a double check, but I do think Mercedes are putting someone in. Yeah, I will let you know once I get that information on my hands. All right. What else have we got going on? What is this colour? I've changed the Alpines to pink. Yeah, apart from that, I think everything else is, well, yeah, the AlphaTauris are white. Alright, so let's run through. Well, Yuki Tsunoda will be trying to get close to Max Verstappen. Of course, not yesterday in Suzuka, he was doing a fantastic job in the free practice sessions. He was keeping up with Max pretty well. But then when it came to qualifying, and the margins got a lot smaller. Yuki Tsunoda was knocked out by a fraction of a tenth of a second. Like, it was very small margins in the quali session. And he's just going to be looking to get some more experience of the car. He knows the Bahrain circuit pretty well. He obviously doesn't know it in the Red Bull car itself, but nonetheless, the experience of the circuit should help him out. There's adequate amounts of runoff as well, so if he does make a mistake, there is a much lower chance of totally wrecking the car. And yeah, that should all help out Yuki Tsunoda. In fact, in Yuki Tsunoda's first race in Formula 1, he scored points at Bahrain. That was the first race that he took part in 2021, and he finished in 9th place. So Yuki Tsunoda does go quite well around this circuit, and yeah, we'll wait and see what he can do. Alright, what is this about the McLaren bending rear wings? It's just that the McLaren rear wings bend slightly more than the Red Bull ones. Apart from that, it's nothing too major, to be honest. Everyone's making a big fuss about it, but the FIA, they have their rules, they have their tests. They test out the McLaren rear wing at the start of the race, after the race is finished, and it passes all of the tests. So it's more than fine. However, McLaren do have a pace advantage, and that pace advantage looks quite big in Australia. However, the FIA expedited the rule change. The rule change was meant to be for the Spanish Grand Prix, which is still a couple of races on from now. However, the FIA were like, no, this is too much flexing rear wings. We're going to bring this rule change forward. And at the Chinese Grand Prix, they brought in a set of regulations. It wasn't the full rule change. They brought in half of the rule changes for the Chinese Grand Prix to make the cars and the front wings and the rear wings stiffer, to make sure that they don't flex as much. And then what they've done now is, for the Spanish Grand Prix, the full regulations will take place. And by that point, the McLaren, flexible rear wings, they will go away. But for now, between now and the Spanish Grand Prix, McLaren will have slightly more flexible wings than the Red Bulls, but that's also due to downforce levels. Like, if McLaren are running slightly higher downforce levels, they're going to have more load on the rear wing, which means more flexing. So, it can be a whole big combination of things. You can't just put it down and say, oh, McLaren have got a flexy rear wing. And, yeah. Okay. Let's see. Some teams have changed their drivers for FP1. You should name. You should. Yeah, I will. I will name them. Just give me a second. I will. Yeah, for whatever reason, I have forgot who's replacing who. But I will get that information shortly. We're still 20 minutes away. I'll get the information by the time the session starts. All right. What else have we got going on? Well, the circuit here, of course, last weekend out in Suzuka, they had the resurfaced track between the chicane at the end of the lap and the whole of the first sector. So all of that part of the circuit, that especially the highest tyre wear part of the circuit, the S section, was all resurfaced, which meant that because it was all resurfaced, all of the tyre wear that was happening there was much lower, and the teams could get away with doing a one-stop race at Suzuka. And as we saw, the one-stop race wasn't the most exciting thing in the world. However, here in Bahrain, the circuit has not been resurfaced since its creation. I think the circuit was created sometime in the early 2000s. That was when the first race was held at the circuit, and since then the track has not been resurfaced, which means that the gravel and the tarmac and whatever you want to call it is all been getting a little bit rougher year after year. It's been getting rougher and rougher, and that means that the tyre wear at this circuit is extremely high. And if you combine that with the very warm track temperatures that we typically find here in Bahrain, we are definitely going to have a two-stop race today. On Sunday, and it's going to be a very exciting race. especially with all the DRS zones around here as well. Are you live for every F1 race? Indeed, I am. I am live from. Yeah, I'm live for all of the free practice sessions, all of the qualifyings, all of the races. Yeah, 2004. Yeah, that seems about right. 2004 was when they introduced the Bahrain Grand Prix circuit, 20-year-old asphalt. Indeed, I mean it's older than Kimi Antonelli, isn't it? That asphalt, which is quite incredible to think about. Okay, hello. If I'm considering the maker of the circuit, which team has the advantage? Ooh, that is a tough one, isn't it? Typically, McLaren actually hasn't done so well around the Bahrain circuit for whatever reason. Maybe they're not optimal in high temperature conditions. Maybe there's just something about the circuit, the type. There is Bahrain is a very different circuit to Suzuka. The braking zones at Suzuka, you only really had one huge braking zone, and I'd say two big braking zones. You had, of course, the chicane, and then you also had the hairpin at Suzuka. Only two big braking zones, but here in Bahrain, you've got turn number 1, huge braking zone, turn number 4, huge braking zone, turn number 11, also a pretty big braking zone, and the final corner as well. The brakes get used a lot around this circuit, and well, that's going to be playing a big role as well. How the drivers manage their brake temperature, who has the slightly bigger brake ducts. If you have slightly bigger brake ducts, then you can use your brakes a little bit more. You can be a bit more aggressive. You don't have to be as conservative, but that does increase drag or does reduce your top speed in the end. So there are a lot of things to take into account. Is Ferrari cooked? I would say they are probably third fastest, but I don't know if that's your definition of cooked or not, really. When is qualifying tomorrow? So qualifying is, whatever time it is now in the world for you, if you add on another 5 hours or 4 hours and 45 minutes, that is the time that qualifying will be taking place tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. Ferrari have an upgraded floor? I shall have a look. Gasly and Doohan are pink now. Yeah, I've just changed the Alpines to pink just to make it a little bit more clear for everyone, because last time I myself and quite a few other people were saying that they were getting confused with the V-Carbs being blue, the Alpines being blue, the Williams being blue, and the Red Bull being blue. It was 4 teams that were blue. Probably not the best difference between difference of colours between all of them. All right. Updates on Verstappen's Red Bull. I will get you guys some updates and who's got the new updates, who hasn't. Okay, we are 20 minutes away from the start of practice. If you guys are interested in watching all of the coverage with all of the footage, all of the team radios, there's a link in the description for F1 TV. And let's have a look at the team upgrades. Okie dokes. So, Scuderia Ferrari, they have brought they've brought upgrades to their floor body, their floor edge, their floor fences, their diffuser, and their rear wing. And it is a performance-specific upgrade. This is not event-specific. It's not a special rear wing for the Bahrain Grand Prix. It is a brand new set of upgrades for Ferrari. So maybe they will manage to get a little bit closer to the McLarens, a little bit closer to Max Verstappen, and we shall see what they can do. So that's the upgrades for Ferrari. A very nice set of upgrades, to be honest. Floor fences, floor body, floor edge, diffuser, and rear wing, all very big parts of the car. Of course, the cars generate so much of their downforce from the diffuser and from the floor. It will, hopefully help Ferrari. If we just read the notes, it just says they've redesigned the diffuser expansion. They've got they've extended the front floor edge, and they've done a little bit of reprofiling and reshaping things just to optimize everything for the airflow of the car. McLaren have brought a set of upgrades for their brake ducts winglets. That's what they've called them. Thank you, Mark, for the $2 donation. Very much is appreciated, and also thank you for joining the channel members. Very much is helps out the channel. Thank you very, very much. The colours look more saturated. Yeah, they do. I've made the blue of the Red Bull stand out a little bit more, and the red of the Ferrari stand out a little bit more. But apart from that, the Alpines and the AlphaTauris have changed colour, and that's that. Okay, if we have a look at Red Bull Racing have brought slightly increased cooling ducts for their car because of course here in Bahrain it is a lot warmer, and because of that they need a little bit more cooling for their car just to make sure everything works at optimal performance. And they've brought a small front wing upgrade as well, but apart from that, nothing that major for the Red Bull team. Mercedes have no upgrades whatsoever. Then we have no upgrades for Aston Martin, no upgrades for Alpine. We do have a slight upgrade, or a slight tweak for the Haas team. They've just got slightly bigger cooling ducts again because we are here in Bahrain. No changes for VCARB, and no changes for Williams, no changes for Kick Sauber. So that is the set of upgrades. The only real big upgrade that we are seeing, Ferrari with a huge set of floor upgrades. McLaren, I wouldn't call them upgrades, they've slightly modified their brake ducts. And Red Bull with some small upgrade to their front wing. All right. So that is the set of upgrades that we have got here in Bahrain. I've also got an onboard lap for you of the Bahrain Grand Prix circuit. So I shall take you through that lap as we are now, 13 minutes away from the start of the session. Thank you everyone for tuning in. It is very, very much appreciated, and be sure to hit the like button, be sure to subscribe. Definitely hitting the like button really helps out the channel, and if you are watching over on Twitch, there is be sure to hit the follow button as well. Hopefully we can make our way towards 500 followers on Twitch. Alright, so I shall take you through a lap of the Bahrain Grand Prix circuit. Oh, I don't know why that's just happened. Let me don't know why it's just switched over to Suzuka. Give me a second here, folks. This is the Bahrain times from last year. There we go. Okay. I think we're just getting the live data for this weekend. Give me a second. All right. The live data is coming through for this weekend very, very shortly. So we'll get that. Okay, let's take you through a lap of the Bahrain Grand Prix circuit, shall we? Here we go then. This is turn number 1 of Bahrain. The drivers, of course, make their way through that. Apologies for missing the first bit of the straight, but you know the drivers go down here up towards turn number 4. You got DRS up until this point. Slam on the brakes, all trying to maximise your entry speed through here, and then flat onto the power as you go in towards these next couple of corners. It's very important to get the rhythm right through there, because if you can't get the rhythm right, the car doesn't rotate properly. There's a very specific line that you do have to take, and if you don't take that, then of course you do lose a lot of time. Now towards turn number 9 and 10, this is very, very tricky because you're braking and turning at the same time, which means locking up is very, very easy. Currently when I'm driving on the F1 games, I do have ABS on, so that means I normally don't lock up because, well, the game makes sure that I don't lock up. Then going into turn number 11, you go up the hill and just flat on the power here. You want to minimize the distance, so by taking the inside line and then onto the brakes, only braking for about 50 meters before you power out, get a perfect exit for the back straight here. Well, there's quite a few straights around here. Not really. This isn't the back straight. The straight before the main straight, and then onto the brakes, carry as much speed as possible, and then go all over these curbs. You want to go over these curves because that is the maximum and the quickest line that you can take through there, the maximum speed line. And yeah, that is a lap of the Bahrain Grand Prix circuit, and I shall get the team radio, I shall get the data up for you for the there we go. This is the Bahrain Grand Prix data. Right, let me get rid of the Japanese Grand Prix one, and let me get rid of last year's Bahrain Grand Prix one as well. There we go. All right. Yeah. So this is the data. Fantastic. It's not the ultra soft tires. I don't actually know why. It's pink, but for whatever reason, it is pink now. Once the actual data comes through, it will switch to soft, medium, and hard as standard. If we're just looking at the Ferrari floor, they've got some more vents on the car, just trying to maximise their downforce as they go down as the air flows towards the rear of the car, and we'll see if that works out for them. All right. Yeah, so the new drivers that we have joining us today, as you can see here, someone taking Max Verstappen's slot in the Red Bull. We've got someone taking Sainz's slot in the Williams. You've got someone driving for Haas. So let's run through all of the rookies that we have got driving here. Okie dokes. What happened to Leclerc? They've got a junior driver taking place. So let's have a look. Who is the junior drivers? We've got Max Verstappen, Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, George Russell, Fernando Alonso, Carlos Sainz, and Oliver Behrman. They will be sitting out FP1. We've got 6 rookies taking part as the Friday drivers, and the drivers that we have got then, we have got Ryo Hirakawa. He's taking part on part of Oliver Behrman. He's the Haas rookie driver. Then we have got Felipe Drogovic driving in the Aston Martin in place of Fernando Alonso. We have got Iwasa, Ayumu Iwasa, I think that's what his name is, driving the Red Bull in 14th place, currently on the screen. Then we've got, I don't know who's actually driving in 15th place, so they're replacing Charles Leclerc. And I also don't know who number 17 is either. Let me know in the chat if you do know who this is. Ideally, I should be the one who knows, but here we are. All right, we got 3,000 people tuned into live stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We are 8 minutes away from the start of free practice 1. In fact, I'm probably gonna have to stick this up on the screen just because we've got so many. Oh yeah, Luke Browning. Luke Browning is the driver that's driving for Williams, and I will also find out who is driving for Ferrari. Okay, Dino Beganovic in Ferrari. All right, fantastic. Well, that's the full list then. We're gonna have a lot of questions in today's FP1 session asking who is this driver, But okay. So yeah, from the top we have got. Who have we got? Yeah, Felipe Drogovic, Ayumu Iwasa, Dino Beganovic, Luke Browning, and Ryo Hirakawa, and Vesti as well, driving for Mercedes. Frederick Vesti. Fantastic. So those are our 6 Friday rookies, 6 new drivers taking part in free practice 1 here. And this is one of the ideal circuits to do it at. You haven't got a sprint race. The teams and the drivers have got loads of experience around here, loads of data, and yeah, that's why they can afford to put the rookies in. Of course, I personally wouldn't put a rookie in if you've brought a huge set of upgrades like Ferrari have, but clearly have enough confidence in Hamilton gathering data that they don't feel the need for Charles Leclerc to go out and gather some information on the upgrades as well. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please be sure to do so. Hopefully we can hit 140k by the end of today. We'll have, of course, free practice 1 and free practice 2. And yeah, that would very much be appreciated if we could make our way towards 140k. That would put us well on track to hitting 200k by the end of the season, which is the goal, I would say. So yeah, if you guys haven't subscribed, then be sure to do so. Why isn't Max here? Right, we've already had so many questions. Right, I'm gonna stick this up on the screen. Give me a second here, folks. Okay. Text, and we've got rookie drivers. rookie drivers. Actually, let me just make all of this way smaller. And I shall put this over here somewhere. I'll figure out where to put it. Taking part in FP1. Oh, FP1. Right. I think that's going to have to do for now. I will properly type everyone's name up shortly. Okay. Someone said someone should go cook an egg on the track with those temperatures. It should be possible. Yeah, 48 degrees track temperature, 35 degrees air temperature. This is what I'm saying. It is extremely hot here out in Bahrain. The sun is shining, the sky is blue, and we have got, well, the drivers, they're going to be, the tyres are going to be feeling the heat, really. The drivers should be fine. They'll be having their water bottles as normal. In fact, if the track temperature stays, if the air temperature stays this high, the FIA will have to mandate cooling vests for the race on Sunday. I think the cooling vests, like the temperature that the drivers have to, the temperature threshold for the teams to start using the cooling vests is 35 degrees Celsius. So if the air temperature at the start of the race on Sunday is over 35 degrees, we will see the new driver cooling vests and the driver cooling aids take place, kick into effect, and we'll see what happens. Yeah. Who is Vest in Mercedes? That is Frederick Vesti. Yeah. Why aren't all the practice sessions at night? Simply because they wouldn't have enough time at night, because ideally they want the people in Bahrain to also get some sleep. All the marshals that are staying up for free and, marshalling and making sure everything's safe, they were ideally want to give them some sleep as well. So they hold the race at around, I think it's 9 p.m. local time or something. Let me just have a quick look at what local time is in Bahrain right now. But yeah, the race is actually held at not even 9 p.m. The race is held at 6 p.m. local time, and qualifying is held at 7 p.m. local time. So they can't, if they want everything to be at the night, they'll have to push everything back very late, which they don't want to do. Are these rookies from F2 or F3? Most of the rookies from Formula 2, as far as I can tell. Yeah. F3 to Formula 1 is a very, very big jump, and we probably won't be seeing much of that. Okay, so here we go then. Right, let me just put a little message in the chat as well, folks. If you haven't hit the like button, please be sure to do so. Hopefully we can get towards 2,000 likes. Who's your favourite sponsor in Formula 1? Ooh, that's an interesting question. Actually, I haven't had that one before. My favourite sponsor in Formula 1, I would have to say, well, just purely because of the livery, I would have to say Vodafone. Like Vodafone with that, well, I don't know if Vodafone was the reason they had that chrome McLaren, but the chrome McLaren looked very good. I'd say maybe Marlboro as well. They had a fantastic livery because, back in those days. But I don't know who else would my favourite sort of sponsor would be. Yeah. I guess HP. I mean, I don't think HP is the best sponsor. In fact, I'm on a Dell laptop right now, streaming off a Dell laptop. But I don't know. I think Dell do sponsor someone. I think Dell sponsor McLaren, don't they? I think Dell Technologies is on the McLaren livery. I'm not 100% certain. Okay. All right then. 1 minute away from the start of free practice, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll have all 20 drivers making their way out onto the circuit very, very soon. Fantastic. I can put a bet that an F2 driver bins it in the wall this session. Yeah, I mean, maybe there will be a maybe there will be an F2 driver. But the thing is, there is also a lot of runoff here at Bahrain. You do have to take that into account. There is huge sweeping amounts of runoff. I'd say the only gravel trap that there is in Bahrain is on the exit of turn number 4. Apart from that, there really isn't much in terms of gravel traps. All right, let's put that here. Oh, this is quite a nice place to put it, actually, between the straight. and we'll have the team radios coming through very, very shortly. Yeah, just this advert that's playing here. I am sponsored by F1 TV, so if you guys are interested in watching all of the footage or watching all of the commentary, the team radios, and all of that stuff live, then there is a link in the description to watch Formula 1 TV. Well, buy it first and then, of course, watch it. So, yeah, if you're interested, then there's a link in the description. All right. Genuine question: is this your full-time job? No. Currently, I'm a student studying engineering. Hopefully, looking to work in a Formula 1 team. That'd be pretty cool. But we'll wait and see. There's a lot of competition to try and get into Formula 1 teams, not just as drivers, but of course as engineers as well. All right, we've got the drivers lining up at the end of the pit lane. As you can see, a 10-second timer said to Esteban Ocon, and we've got a green light at the end of the pit lane. We've got the team radios coming through, and yeah, fantastic. Here we go then. The driver leading us out for the start of the session, Ayumu Iwasa. He is driving Max Verstappen's Red Bull for the day. Then we have got Luke Browning in the Williams taking Carlos Sainz's spot. We've got Ryo Hirokara taking Oliver Behrman's spot. We've got Ocon coming out onto the circuit, Bortoletto out onto the circuit, Lawson out onto the circuit as well. Then we've got Norris out. Norris hasn't come out yet. Just Lawson as of now, and yeah, fantastic. Who's the Williams rookie? It is Luke Browning. Yeah. All right, we've got Jack Doohan making his way out onto the circuit. We've got Frederick Vesti out onto the circuit. Dino Beganovic is also out in place of Charles Leclerc. We've got Kimi Antonelli out in 10th place. Lewis Hamilton out in 11th. Gasly 12th out of the pits. Then we've got Tsunoda out in 13th. Norris out in 14th. And yeah. All right. Nobody's on flying laps as of yet. They've all just made their way out on the circuit, so slowly but surely just crawling their way around. I'm not sure why the mini sectors aren't updating, to be honest. I'm not sure why any of the sector times aren't updating. But hopefully we'll get that data coming through very, very shortly. Yeah, maybe I'll give the data a quick refresh as we get underway. Oh no, there we go. We've got the sector times coming through. We'll have the mini sector times coming through shortly as well. Fantastic. All right. Yeah, we got 5,000 people watching. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so. And yeah, here we go. We've got a lot of team radios coming through now. With nearly all 20 cars out onto the circuit. Drivers are going to have to be watching out for traffic here and there. Okay, so if we're looking at Frederick Vesti then, what has he done in the previous couple of years? In 2022, he was 9th place in Formula 2. In 2023, he was also 9th place in Formula 2. Then in 2024, he joined LMP2 in the endurance team. He finished in 9th place there as well. And then in 2025, he is taking part in IMSA, and he's currently in 6th position. So that is Frederick Vesti's junior career. He's now just taking part in a free practice 1 session on behalf of George Russell for the Mercedes team. Okay, Iwasa promoted to Red Bull? No. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but no, that's not happened. I mean, in fact, he's taken Max Verstappen's spot, which is definitely not happening. So, yeah. How many free practice 1 sessions must be given to rookies? I think throughout the season, 6 out of the 24 free practice sessions have to be given to rookies, and yeah. Okay, it's either watching you working or learning about molecular quantum mechanics for me, so this is the best option so far. Well, thank you very much. Is it just my eyes, or are there new display colours for the V-carb and the Alpine? No, that is correct. I just made the changes about 2 hours ago. I changed the Alpine to pinks, and I made the V-carbs into white, given that, they've got a white livery, so fair enough. And the Alpines, they're going to be pink because, well, their sponsor is kind of pink, and we just need a different colour from blue, really, because we've got a blue Red Bull, a blue Williams, we've also got a blue V-carb, and we also previously had a blue Alpine, so there was just way too much blue on the screen, and it was becoming a little bit difficult to differentiate what was going on, and because of that I've changed the colours. Why no mini sectors? You say that, and just here they are coming through. There was obviously some sort of glitch in the data, and that's why they weren't going through. But here they are. Now we got Ryo Hirakawa leading the way from the front. Fantastic. Okay, Ocon comes across the line on 136.5. We've got Lawson 138.2. Brilliant, brilliant. What engineering are you studying? Mechanical or something else? Mechanical is the one. Yeah, Frederick Vesey a little bit deep into turn number 1. Probably hadn't got those brakes up into temperature and then went straight on a little bit. But, fair enough. Had a little bit of a lock-up as well. But these are the things, you have to get used to in a Formula 1 car. He nearly spun the car around as well as he was just slowly getting onto the power. And, these Formula 1 cars are very, very twitchy things. Felipe Drogovic having a little bit of a twitch as well. Oh, no, that wasn't Felipe Drogovic. That was Lance Stroll. Never mind. But yeah, the circuit, of course, not as grippy as it was back at the end of testing. Of course, end of testing, the drivers had done around about 3,000 laps in total. I think if you add up all of the laps that every driver had done, it had come to, I think, 3,000 laps or so. And yeah, that means 3,000 laps worth of Pirelli rubber deposited onto the circuit. That no longer is the case. And the drivers are going to have to adjust to the fact that the circuit isn't as grippy as it previously was. Ocon comes over the radio saying that the car's just turning left while going in a straight line. I think, there's some sort of misalignment with the steering wheel, I'm guessing, if he's going straight and he's actually turning left. Okay. What are you predicting for this weekend? I am predicting that Yuki Tsunoda actually gets close to Max Verstappen. That is my prediction. I think Tsunoda has done quite well in the past at the Bahrain circuit. I also think that this circuit is probably one of his best chances to get close to Max Verstappen, given the amount of practice and experience he does have around here. And I think that Tsunoda will actually get close to Max Verstappen. And by that I mean that he'll be within 3 places of him at the end of qualifying. That's my prediction. So if Max is in first, Tsunoda will be between 2nd, 3rd and 4th. That's what I think. But who knows? Who knows? All right. The new blue for RBR is a little bit too bright. Feel free to let me know, guys. I might change some of these things going into free practice 2. But yeah. How many Japanese drivers do we still at Suzuka? No, we are in fact not. But yeah, of course, we've got Tsunoda driving. I think Ayumu Iwasa is also Japanese, and Ryo Hirakawa as well. Carlos is sitting out for Luke Browning, who's currently in 20th position, just in the pit lane right now. And yeah. Okay. Why are the new drivers from Williams and Haas not in the practice round? They need as much time to get used to the cars as the rookies. I think that's fair enough. I mean, I would personally have put Alex Albon in, given him some time out of the car. But the thing is, the way this works is that the teams also want to be fair to their main drivers as well, because the teams have to, I think, in the season give out at least 6 free practice sessions to rookie drivers, and when they do that, one of their drivers have to sit out. So it would be a little bit unfair for Alex Albon to sit out all 6 of those free practice 1 sessions, and Carlos Sainz gets to drive in all of them. So because of that, they have a bit of an alternating system. One driver will sit out one weekend, the next driver will sit out the next weekend, and yeah. All right, that's how it works. All right. Overall, the color change is great, easier to differentiate. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I thought that was probably best way to go about doing it. Oh wow, we've already got 7,000 people tuned in. That is incredible, given the fact that it's free practice 1. Yeah, kind of mind blowing. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and I will be continue commentating for free practice 2, 3, qualifying, and the race as well. Ferrari have brought a upgrade package this weekend. Indeed, they have. Ferrari have brought a new upgrade package to their floor. They have brought a new edge of their floor. They've brought a new leading edge of their floor, and they've also brought a new diffuser. So quite a few different things for the Ferrari team. They've reshaped and resurfaced, remodeled quite a few, curvatures on their car. I don't know exactly the best way to describe it, but of course, if you imagine all of the bodywork on a Formula One car as a set of curves, and they want to optimize those curves to be as most aerodynamic as possible, to give you the most downforce and as little drag as possible. Ferrari have modified the shapes of those curves to try and give them as much downforce as they can possibly get out of the air. And yeah, Hamilton stopped on a flying lap attempt, and let's have a look. Hamilton on a set of hard tyres. Maybe he did, but he's on a set of hard tyres. Maybe he got a bit of traffic. Not particularly sure. Do you think Alpine is going to get some points here in Bahrain? Probably not. Alpine, the main thing about them, they're down on power. Here in Bahrain, you've got 3 huge DRS zones. You've got loads of overtaking opportunities, loads of long straights, and that just simply doesn't bode well for Alpine. Even if they do qualify well, if they're going down the straights like 10k slower than everyone else, they're not going to hold up and score some points. So that's just the way things are the way things are heading. Oh, we had a bit of a lock-up going into turn number 9 and 10. That is one tricky corner, to be honest. Frederick Vesti having quite a few lock-ups, actually. And it'll take him a while to get used to the car. Hopefully he doesn't flat spot it too much, because the thing is, if you do flat spot the tyres, they're a lot more likely to continue flat spotting, and because of that, well, it gets easier and easier to lock up, and it just gets into this sort of repeating cycle where you have a first little lock up, which makes it easy to lock up the second time, which makes it even easier to lock up the third time, more and more and more, and then you end up with a tyre that's as round as a 50p coin. Which, if in the UK, the 50p coin is like a hexagon, I think. A hexagon, or it's got 7 sides, I'm not sure. But either way, it's not a circle. And yeah. F1 Gamer, according to you, which team is the weakest in the driver pairing and in car performance? Well, it's tough to say, isn't it? Because I'd say it's fairly easy to say the weakest in car performance. Alpine, they've had some good qualifyings, but in the race their performance seems to evaporate, and they haven't scored any points this season. So fair to say them. It's either them or it's Kick Sauber. Those are the 2 teams which are probably the worst or the second worst. And then as for driver pairings, I would go and say maybe, well, I don't know, because it could be Haas. Haas have got Ocon and Behrman. I'm not saying they're bad drivers, but they're probably, if you were to say the worst out of the grid, then maybe Hülkenberg's pretty good, Bortoletta's pretty good. So I don't know. It's tough to say who's the worst. Maybe Lawson and Hadjar, actually. Just given that, I wouldn't say they're the worst. Hadjar has some potential, so does Lawson, but they're just at this current moment in time, they haven't got the best the drivers on the grid. Okay, Norris goes top of the times, a 1:35.2 for him. Hello again. Can the teams decide which race the rookies get to practice on? Yeah, that is correct. The teams do get to decide. So the way that it works is, ideally they don't want to give them a sprint weekend, because of course with 6 sprint weekends you only have 1 free practice session. If you have 1 free practice session, you can't give that to a rookie, because your actual main driver is not going to get their setup, they're not going to be able to pick their setup properly. So you can't do it on sprint weekends. Ideally, you want to do it at a circuit where there's loads of runoff, there's loads of, room for mistakes, because in case the rookies do make mistakes, they're not going to go flying into a barrier like they would in Monaco. So it sort of narrows it down, and it makes it sort of fairly obvious which circuits they're going to do it at. So let's have a look at the circuits that we're going to get in the upcoming races. They're going to do, they've got rookies driving here in Bahrain. They're probably going to have rookies driving in Imola. They'll definitely have rookies driving in Spain. They'll have some driving in Austria, some at Silverstone, some at Belgium. Yeah, and then maybe at Brazil as well. Yeah. as long as there aren't any sprint races. I forgot which races are sprint and which races aren't, but yeah, they'll be racing at the main circuits with loads of runoff. Okay. All right, we are 15 minutes into free practice 1. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We have got 7,200 people tuned into the live stream. That is brilliant. Be sure to hit the like button, folks. Hopefully we can make our way towards 1,000 or 2,000 likes. And yeah, Brazil has a sprint race. Yeah, fair enough. If it's a sprint race, then they won't be taking part then. They'll probably do Abu Dhabi at the end of the year as well. Abu Dhabi's got a lot of runoff. The drivers know it fairly well. All right. What else have we got going on? Oh, a little yellow flag there, but should be fine. Frederick Vesti going a little bit slowly. And yeah, the drivers are struggling up a little bit with lockups. Who is Dino Boganovic? He is actually, I think someone said in chat that he's Swedish. I will double check that, but he's part of the Ferrari Driver Academy, and that's why he is taking part in today's session. Okay. Can you stop yapping and tell us what's going on in free practice 1? To be honest, all of the drivers are going out and doing their long runs. You know, they're on a set of medium tyres, they're on a set of hard tyres, they're lapping around about 4 seconds off their quali pace, and yeah, not too much else going on. That's why I'm not, in the zone commentating about free practice 1. Yeah, Dino Boganovic is a Swedish and Bosnian racing driver. He's currently driving in Formula 2 with High-Tech Racing, and he is a race winner in Formula 2, and he'll be looking to, well, get into the Ferrari team. Yeah. Oh, funny baloney. That is a fantastic chat message. In fact, I think I'm just going to copy that, fix a couple of mistakes, and then post that into the chat. Yeah, very much is appreciated. Yeah, thanks, buddy. Brilliant. Thank you very much. Pin message. Okay. Oh, actually, ladies and gentlemen, I do have a question for you. I was thinking of this in between the little break between last race and this race. Would you rather? Okay, so you have the opportunity to go to Silverstone to watch a Formula 1 race, or do you not take that? You have, these are your two options. Would you rather go to Silverstone, watch a Formula 1 race, have a there'll be a fantastic battle for the lead of the race, or your second option is to go to Silverstone and drive, go for a track day and go drive around a bunch of supercars? Which one would you rather do? Drive around the McLaren P1, drive around the Ferrari 458, the SF90, which one would you rather do? Would you rather drive the cars or watch a Formula 1 race where the drivers are going head to head for the first place race? Okay. Yeah. So currently we've got Lando Norris top of the times, 135.3 from them. Piastri comes over the radio saying he's got no grip, and it looks like McLaren's faster than Piastri in every single part of the circuit, apart from the exit of turn number 14. Track day easy. Yeah, I think track day is a fairly easy one, isn't it? Yeah. All right. Oh, Hamilton's come over the radio, says, it feels horrendous, mate. Nope. Oh, no. Oh, my goodness me. Ferrari have brought a set of upgrades this weekend, and Hamilton's first radio message at his broadcast is, it feels horrendous, mate. Not a good sign, is it? Not a good sign. It's a pretty typical Ferrari stuff, to be honest. And yeah, well, we'll see. Let's not drop the clown emojis into the chat just yet. You forgot Aston Martin, Fernando Alonso is Felipe Drugovich in the pinned message. Yeah, I did. You know what, it's fine. I think most people do know who Felipe Drugovich is, because he has done quite a few free practice sessions for Aston Martin. Why bro? Bro is Luke Browning in 20th place there, with a 1:46 lap time. He is 10 seconds off the pace. He's very slowly but surely gonna speed up, but of course he's now just getting to grips with this Williams. Ferraris are so back. Who are the rookie drivers at McLaren? There are no rookie drivers at McLaren as of now. I don't know who will actually be taking part as a rookie driver in the next couple of weekends for McLaren, but we'll wait and see. We'll find out. Okay, I'll take you through the DRS zones on this circuit, and then I'll take you through a lap as well, since we've still got not too much action going on, and the drivers sort of making their way back into the pits, but. So let's have a look. I shall show you where the DRS zones are. DRS zone coming down the main straight here where Lance Stroll is driving. He'll be using DRS. Then you've got another DRS zone heading towards turn number 4, which means that if you can't get the overtake sealed and dealed in turn number 1, 2 and 3, then you can have another shot at completing the overtake at turn number 4. Or you have the opportunity to re-overtake the driver who's just overtaken you here at turn number 4. And then you have another DRS zone between turn number 10 and 11. You get onto the power here and a big long DRS, and you slam the brakes for turn number 11, and that's when the DRS shuts. So those are the DRS zones on this circuit, and right now I'll take you through a lap of the Bahrain circuit. So here we go. Going into turn number 1 then, we have got... Sorry, let me just get rid of this on the screen. Okay, so going up towards turn number 4, you've got DRS activated. Up into 8th gear, you want to take as much entry curb as possible, carry the speed through that corner, and then you don't want to be touching the curbs on the exit there too much. There is track limits warnings there. The drivers will be under scrutiny from the FIA going through that part of the circuit. Now towards turn number 8, there's a downhill braking zone. It's very, very easy to lock up as you go into there, and then of course coming out of that corner, losing the rear end very, very lightly as well. Turn number 9 and 10, these are very tricky corners. You're braking and turning at the same time, which means locking up very easy. We've seen a couple of the rookie drivers do it already. And now towards turn number 10, you want to brake as wide, as much to the right hand side as you possibly can, and then up the hill you go through 12 and 13. And then you've got... well, just maximize the straight out of that penultimate corner, because you've got to just go flat out. You're up into 8th gear by the time you hit the braking zone again. Hit the brakes at the 70-meter mark, and then carry as much speed as you can. Get onto the power early. Go over this curb. This curb doesn't lose you too much time. Activate the DRS as you come down the main straight, and that is the lap of a Bahrain Grand Prix. Yeah, that's a lap of the Bahrain International Circuit, and there you go. You've got me doing some donuts. Fantastic. Okay. Do you own a sim rig? Yes, I do. I do own. I've got a Thrustmaster. What's it? TXM. In fact, I've got it right here next to me. Let me just read what it says. It's a Thrustmaster something, and it goes with my Xbox One. But yeah, a Thrustmaster TMX force feedback wheel. Yeah. Okay. I feel like I'm watching Nico Rosberg's track explanation. Well, that's a very big compliment. And to be honest, I've watched all of Nico Rosberg's track explanations as well. So a lot of my information comes from that, and a lot of my information comes from playing the F1 games and watching the drivers on boards and things like that as well. All right. Okay, just pinning that message to the chat. Fantastic. So we got Tsunoda out, purple in the first sector, looking good, looking good. And he's on an old set of medium tyres as well, so very nice. A 1:28 is epic. Yeah, I mean a pretty quick lap to be honest. But that was of course in the that was in the 2021 cars. I'm a very out of date F1 gamer. The game that I've recorded that on is F1 21, and that was before the regulation change, of course, when we had those monstrously quick cars. And yeah, that's why the lap times are down in the 1:28s. Okay, we have got Albon, nice and quick lap there from him. He goes half a tenth quicker than Lando Norris, up to top of the times. Norris comes across the final sector line and purple in the final sector as well, but not enough to improve on his personal best. Not quick enough in the first and the second sector. Now the colour of the V-carb and the Haas is pretty similar. Yeah, it is a little bit. I don't know. What could I do for Haas? I don't think black would work for Haas. Haas haven't really got a black livery. I don't know. I can make the grey just a little bit darker for the Haas team. That's probably the best way to do it. F121 hands down has the best handling model, so nothing wrong with sticking to that. I think it does. However, sometimes the curbs in the F1 2021 game are just ridiculously slippery. Like, you touch the curbs at Suzuka with your rear tyre and suddenly the car just spins around. But, you know, maybe that's me just blaming the game rather than my own driving skills. You know, the racing drivers will always blame the car. I'm here to blame the game. Yeah. Okay, yeah, we got Lando Norris locking up going through turn number 9 and 10. Yeah, pretty standard stuff, to be honest. It is very, very difficult corner that as the drivers finally tune in their brake balance and their brake migration settings for those corners, we will be seeing a couple more lockups here in the FP1 session. And also look at this, folks, track temperature 47.4 degrees, air temperature is 35 degrees, and a lot of the teams have brought slightly bigger cooling ducts, cooling vents for their car to make sure that nothing overheats. But the tyres will, they can't add extra cooling for the tyres will just have to be driven at a slower speed to maintain temperature, or, they just wear out. So those are the options for the tyres, and yeah, the medium tyres not holding up as well as they would have in pre-season testing. Pre-season testing, the track temperatures were 20 degrees colder than this. We were seeing track temperatures in the 25s, in the low 20s, and here we are now 47 degrees track temperature, and a very, very big change for the drivers. The track is cooking, honestly. No, the track is cooking. Science is currently sat out of free practice 1, has given Luke Browning his car to drive for a little practice session. Yeah. Alright. Alright. Why are there different names? The different names are the new rookie drivers taking part in free practice 1. They'll be we'll have the normal drivers back for free practice 2, but we've got rookie drivers for free practice 1. Who is Bro? Bro is Luke Browning. And yeah, he is that guy, Okay. What else have we got going on? Antonelli in 17th. Yeah, I mean, let's not look into this too much. It is free practice after all. Antonelli has done a grand total of, I think, about 10 laps in this session, so don't count anything against him, to be honest. Bro thinks he's science. Indeed, that is exactly what he thinks. There are so many bro jokes that we can make. Luke Browning, please get into Formula 1 so I can make a bunch of bro jokes. That would be fantastic. Okay. Sonoda, purple in the first sector, looking good. Yeah. Okay, I'm just looking here at a theoretical best lap time, and if we're looking at the theoretical best lap times that a couple of these drivers can do, it still looks like Albon's got the theoretical best time. Piastri should be ahead of Gasly, but that's to be expected, to be honest. Yeah, all of these theoretical times look about standard. I will keep you guys up to date on these theoretical times. I can't fit everything up on the screen, unfortunately, but theoretical lap times essentially means matching the fastest first, second and third sectors for all of the drivers. So for example, let's say Norris on his first flying lap goes purple in the first sector and second sector and then makes a mistake in the final sector, and then in the second flying lap he goes slower in the first and second sector but then purple in the third sector. The theoretical best lap time will add all of those purple sectors together, add the best sector times for each driver together to try and get their best theoretical lap time, to see how much they could have improved if they hooked everything up perfectly. And yeah, as of right now, given that everyone's just doing long runs, the theoretical lap times are pretty much the same as the leaderboard. Yeah. Where are the DRS zones? The DRS zones are down the main straight here. Then we have got another DRS zone up towards turn number 4, and then we've got a DRS zone just where Vesti is now, going between turn number 10 and turn number 11. Those are the DRS zones at the Bahrain International Circuit. May I ask, where is Max Verstappen? Max Verstappen sat in the garage. He's given his car to Ayumu Iwasa. We've got 2 Japanese drivers driving the Red Bull, of course, the Honda-powered Red Bull. So, yeah, I'm sure Honda will be very happy with that. And, yeah, that's why Verstappen is not out on the circuit. Fantastic. Red Bull car more like Max's car. Yeah, it is definitely Max's car. Bortoletto, purple first sector, purple second sector. He's on a fresh set of soft tyres. Let's have a look. What can he do here? There is no DRS zone between turn number 30 and 40. It seems like a really good straight for great overtaking. It does. However, you do have to balance with, great chances of overtaking and the drivers who are within 1 second just breezing past everyone. So that's why there isn't that's why there isn't a DRS zone between turn number 13 and 14. Bortoletto comes across the line, first place for him, fantastic, and a 134.6, he goes half a second quicker than Alex Albon. And so essentially, the reason there's no DRS zone between turn number 13 and 14, it seems like prime opportunity for one, but they didn't have one because otherwise it would become way too easy to overtake. If you had 4 DRS zones on the circuit and all of them are as long as they are currently right now, then the driver who is 1 second back actually will always get ahead. And it's not, a question of overtaking skill and pace and being able to outmaneuver your opponent. It's just, you're within 1 second, the DRS will easily let you overtake. So there's a balance to be had, and that's why there isn't a DRS zone there. Okay. The bet at my work is to see Piastri will... I don't know. I don't think that's a full sentence. Okay. Bortoletto is modern era Senna if he's in the right car. Well, maybe. I think we're just making little jokes here because he is, hugely faster than everyone else. But now Piastri's out on a fresh set of softs, and we'll have some of the other drivers coming out on a fresh set of soft tyres as well. Given the extremely high track temperatures here, what are we going to see? We're going to see the standard stuff from the Formula 1 teams. The drivers are going to be crawling out of the pit lane so slowly to reduce the tyre temperatures as much as possible before they're flying lapped. That's going to be the key thing, really. They can reduce their tyre temperatures just before they start their flying lap, so then once they are on their flying lap, they don't suffer from overheating too much. Okay. VES is Verstappen? No, VES is Frederick Vesti. He is a rookie driver and driving for the Mercedes team. Yeah. Who's driving Charles' car? Charles's car is being driven by Dino Beganovic. He is, Ferrari Driver Academy and currently driving in Formula 2. Hulkenberg purple in the middle sector, looking good here as he comes out of the final corner. What is it going to be for Nico Hulkenberg? Let's see what he can do. Hirakawa comes across the line, 5th place for him. Nico Hulkenberg, good lap there for him as well. Across the line he goes, and it's 1st place, 3 tenths quicker than his teammate, 3.5 tenths quicker than his teammate. Wow, he gained a whole bunch of time in that final sector. Yeah, fantastic final sector there from Nico Hulkenberg. Okie dokes. Also, folks, there is, that little advert that's playing there in the bottom right. I'm sponsored by F1 TV, so if you guys are interested in getting F1 TV coverage, there's a link in the description for you guys to check out. You get all of the onboards, all of the data, all of the team radios, things like that, and all of the historic races as well. Oh, we've just got a replay here. I didn't think this was Hulkenberg on his flying lap. I think it must have been the lap before his flying lap, but a huge lock up into turn number 9 and 10. And all of the drivers struggling, really. Let's have a look at the wind. The wind, it's 6 kilometers per hour. It's not really contributing that much of a factor. Previously we have seen very, very high winds here in Bahrain, which lead to well, the driver's just spinning out and locking up sort of at random because the wind suddenly starts blowing in the wrong direction. But no, the wind doesn't seem particularly strong today, and it just seems like a mistake from the driver's part. All right, we got Piastri on a flying lap. Let's see what he can do. All right, we're on board here with Piastri. He makes his way towards turn number 10, gets a nice, doesn't lock up actually going through there, which is pretty good going. And then now he's just coming down this back straight. Let's have a look at his sector times. What's it looking like for Piastri? A couple of purple mini sectors, a couple of green mini sectors as well. Ocon gets out of the way nicely as he goes up the hill towards turn number 11 and 12. Hulkenberg gets out of the way as well. Hamilton's on a reasonably quick lap. However, I think Piastri has managed to get close enough to get a bit of DRS off, to get a bit of slipstream off him. And Piastri is 3.5 tenths up on Hulkenberg's time, just going through the middle sector alone. He's got the final sector left to go. He's right on Hamilton's tail. He's going to get a bit of slipstream as he comes across the start-finish line. He opens that DRS flap, and across the line comes Oscar Piastri. What's it going to be? Oh, only second place. Looks like someone backed off, didn't they? Yeah, Piastri 3.5 tenths up on Hulkenberg, and then suddenly as he comes across the line, he's a quarter of a second back. Looks like someone hit the brakes before they cross the start-finish line. Typical McLaren things, honestly. Yeah, Sauber domination confirmed, and McLaren sandbagging once again. Okay, what have we got? Everyone's out on a fresh set of softs. This is looking good. Hamilton's still out on his long run on his hard tyres, but he'll be coming in soon enough. And yeah, all right, we'll have the drivers coming out on some more. We'll have some quick laps coming through very, very shortly. Also, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so. Very much is appreciated. Yeah. Leo Valdez, he slided, mate, took a dip into the grass at turn number 14. Oh, maybe he did. If he did, then apologies for the mistake. I must have missed that. I was probably looking at the timing sheet rather than actually at the circuit. Why do you change the colours? Just to make things a little bit more clear, so you can figure out the different colours for all of the drivers. Yeah. I mean, the Alpine livery, the Alpine driver, race suits, they're still quite pink, so I just thought that pink would be a better colour rather than having loads of blue all over the place, making it difficult to read. Debbie, see you later from Australia. Yeah, see you later. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you are, of course, on the other side of the world and have to get some sleep before the end of this session, and I hope to see you guys around for qualifying tomorrow. Okie dokes, we got who have we got? Dino Bogdanovic out on a set of hard tyres now. He's going to be comparing himself to Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton, of course, has already done his hard tyre run. Hopefully, when he came over the radio and said, "Oh, it feels horrendous, mate," hopefully things have improved since then, and he's getting some good lap times in, because ideally that Ferrari upgrades works well and we get 3 teams fighting for the top rather than just McLaren and Red Bull. If we could have McLaren, Red Bull and Ferrari, that makes it even better. So fingers crossed. I'm not a huge Ferrari fan, but everyone's a Ferrari fan, as Seb Vettel says, but I would purely just like to see Ferrari become quicker so we have more competition. All right, Gasly purple in the first sector, purple in the second sector, looking good here from him, and across the line he goes. Half a second clear. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, the Alpine is severely down on power, but Pierre Gasly does not seem to care and goes up into first place anyway. Okie dokes. What else have we got going on here? Antonelli's still in the pits. I don't know what Antonelli's doing, actually. Maybe I'll have a little bit of a look at to find out if Antonelli's having some issues or something along those lines, because yeah, it seems a little bit strange. I don't know why exactly he would be Don't know why exactly he's been sat in the pits for so long. Okay, we got 20 minutes left of free practice 1. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Very much is appreciated. Also, Antonelli has a water leak. Mercedes trying to replace it. Okay, makes sense. Thanks for the information. And yeah, if any of you guys didn't catch that, Kimi Antonelli has got a water leak, and that is why he is not taking part in this session. Oh yeah, water pump issue. That's what it is. Apparently they're trying to replace the water pump, but something is well, whatever the issue is, they can't really replace it for whatever reason. It's taking them a long time or something along those lines. They're not doing so well. Antonelli lost power during his lap. Okay, water pump issue for Antonelli. It must be the water, honestly. That's what it is. Okay. Oh yeah, we've just got a replay here from Piastri, and yeah, Piastri, he did lose. He did make quite a big mistake out of turn number 14. I don't think that was half a second worth of a lap time loss, but still, nonetheless, he did make a mistake. Alex Albon getting released into the path of one of the Red Bulls, not ideal there, but yeah, he'll be investigated for that, but I don't think there's going to be much issue. It's sort of the team's fault anyway. Skyforn say the floor is off. Yeah, the floor is off for Antonelli, and they're trying to get to the water pump, which will be inside the car somewhere, and that's why they have to take the floor off. Can't they? They can't separate the gearbox from the engine, from what I understand. Can't manage to get it off on the Mercedes. Well, a little bit interesting, given how Mercedes are the one that designed the engine. Don't know exactly what's going on there, but the thing is, we haven't had sort of water. If you think about what sort of issues the teams typically have, mainly it's fuel issues, like fuel injection issues, or just engine issues in general, are sort of just end up in fire explosions, and water pump is probably one of their least of their concerns. So that's why they sort of packaged it into the inside of the, inside the engine, inside the gearbox, somewhere right deep in the car. Just being like, oh, we're not going to have issues with the water pump. The water pumps are always reliable. They've existed for so many not thousands of years, but you know what I mean. Like, they're a very mature technology, and because they're a more mature technology, they were like, all right, we'll put them on the inside of the car. We probably won't have any issues with it, and it'll be fine. However, they've had some issues, and they're going to take a while to replace them. Ferrari bros, are we cooked? I don't know. I'm going to have to wait for the interviews from Hamilton and Leclerc. Hamilton did say, at the start of the session it feels horrible, but everyone was saying that. Piastri was saying, oh, I've got no grip. Hamilton was probably meaning the exact same thing when he said it feels horrendous. And yeah, the circuit will have slowly gripped up a little bit as everyone's done some laps. Who is do is doing? Bro is Luke Browning, and yeah, possible that Antonelli won't drive again. Yeah, Antonelli probably won't be taking part for the rest of this session, to be honest. They'll have it fixed for FP2, I suspect. There's still quite a while to go for the start of FP2, but yeah, we've got a little bit of time. Oh, no. One of the Williams nearly drove into each other. And this is the thing. It was Alex Albon was a flying lap. Luke Browning, I don't think was properly instructed over the radio that there's a flying car coming through, and they nearly collided. Luke Browning and Alex Albon, not ideal there. Did the new floor for the Ferrari make the car worse? Well, under the first lap that Hamilton did, and then sent a radio message that the car feels bad. That's what we know, but we'll wait and find out. We'll see some quali simulations. Hamilton maybe will come out on some soft tyres towards the end of the session. We'll get a feel for what it could be. Cannot say for certain though. I cannot say for certain until qualifying. All right, we've got 8,000 people tuned into Free Practice 1. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We've got quite a lot of drivers out onto the circuit. Hope you guys are enjoying the coverage. And hope to see you around for free practice 2. Yeah. Free practice 2 will be, let's see, when will free practice 2 be happening? So whatever time it is now in the world for you, if you add on another 2 hours and 45 minutes, is it? No. Yeah, 2 hours and 45 minutes. That is when free practice 2 starts. So, yeah. I mean, once this stream finishes, it'll take you over to the free practice 2 stream anyway, so don't worry about it. Good job on the improved color coding. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think most people have liked it. I think the colors may be slightly bright, and I'll tone down the brightness of the red for the Ferrari maybe, and tone down the brightness ever so slightly for the Red Bull as well. But apart from that, I think it's all good. What does the blue colour in the sector times mean? The blue colour means the drivers are coming in or out the pit lane. So Luke Browning, as you can see here, right, these little blue indicators here, they are coming into the pit lane. Here you can see Oasa is pit out, he's just come out of the pit lane, and these blue mini sectors here means that he's just come out of the pits. So blue is either pit in or pit out. All right. What do you think of Hamilton's new hairstyle? I don't know. I'm not a fashion designer. I'm sure if Hamilton is happy with it, then it'll be fine. You know, it looks good. Why not? F1 Gamer, I think I've misunderstood, but did Browning impede Albon? I think they were half a lap away. Browning did impede Albon. Browning, this happened a little bit earlier, but Browning was on a slow lap, Albon was on a quick lap. And going towards turn number 13, Browning was on the racing line, and he was like, oh, Albon's coming through, let me get off the racing line. However, by that point, Albon had already seen that Browning was on the racing line and was like, oh, he's on the racing line, let me get out of the way because I'm coming through here at full speed. And then Browning, they both sort of went off the racing line. They were like, oh, let me get out of the way, and they both went to the same place. So that's what happened there. Also, folks, I do know a lot of you guys are listening to this sort of just as a radio show rather than as a like watching the stream as everything is happening. So I will just run through the timings and go from top to bottom for anyone that's listening, just like a radio style, because it is Friday. A lot of people are at work but still listening to the stream. So we have got Lando Norris up in first position, Pierre Gasly in second, Alex Albon in third, Esteban Ocon in fourth, Hulkenberg in fifth, Jack Doohan in sixth, Lawson in seventh, Tsunoda in eighth, Piastri in ninth, Bortoletto in 10th, Hadjar in 11th, Stroll in 12th, Rio Hirakawa in 13th, Frederick Vesti in 14th, Hamilton in 15th after locking up going into the pit lane, Ayumu Oasa in 16th, Felipe Drogovic in 17th, Kimi Antonelli in 18th, Dino Beganovic in 19th, and Luke Browning in 20th. All right, just some updates for any of you drivers, any of you folks that missed it at the start of the stream. Ferrari have brought a new upgrade package. They've brought a new floor and a new diffuser, hoping to get closer to McLaren and Red Bull. McLaren have brought slightly tweaked front brake ducts. Apart from that, nothing major. Red Bull have brought a slightly tweaked front wing. Once again, nothing too major for them. And they've brought slightly bigger cooling vents as well for the Bahrain Grand Prix. And apart from that, every other upgrade that we've seen is fairly minor, or the other teams just haven't brought an upgrade whatsoever. So yeah, the biggest upgrade is Ferrari, and apart from that, small upgrades for Red Bull, McLaren, and the rest of the teams, no upgrades whatsoever. Okie dokes. FP2 with the same drivers? No, FP2 will have the normal drivers that we had, at the Japanese Grand Prix taking part in the race. We'll have the standard 20 drivers. Yeah. Would you predict a safety car for this race? Yeah, I think so. I think going around here at Bahrain, the drivers going around full speed, really. The engines getting pushed to their limits, maybe even brake failures, and definitely chance of collision when drivers are overtaking into turn number 1 and 4 and 11. So yeah, I think there's a definite chance for a safety car. I'd say maybe 50%, 60% chance. Yeah, I cannot be sure if it's actually an upgrade for the Ferrari team. Maybe their CFD wasn't perfect, and because of that, it doesn't look as fast. It's not as quick in real life as the simulations were saying. But that's the whole process of development and testing and things like that. So we'll wait and see. Hamilton soon enough will come out and give an interview, and we'll find out if the car improved or not. Why is Tsunoda dark blue? It's because Tsunoda's driving for the Red Bull. I don't know if you have missed it, but Tsunoda has switched with Liam Lawson. He's driving the Red Bull, and Lawson driving the V-Carb. Okay. Let's have a look at the times in testing. What test times did we have in day 3 of testing? Let's have a look. If I can get a hand on... George Russell finished top of the timing sheets in a 129.5. So that was George Russell. 129.5. Currently we're at the 133.2, so still 4 seconds off the lap times that we were getting at testing, and that's partly due to the fact that the temperatures were a lot lower in testing, which means the drivers could push for a lot longer on their flying laps. But of course it is also because we're in free practice 1 and the drivers really aren't pushing all that hard. Yeah. Is it just me, or is Verstappen a different colour? Verstappen is not on the circuit right now. The Merc that you're seeing, it's Frederick Vesti in 14th place. That's not Max Verstappen. All right, we got 7,300 people tuned in. Thank you everyone for tuning in to the live stream. Very much is appreciated. I shall take you through a lap of the Bahrain Grand Prix circuit while we are here. Not too many drivers driving around, so in fact, let's go and watch this onboard. All right, so we have got the drivers making their way up towards turn number 3 there, and you activate DRS going up that hill. You want to stay on the left-hand side here, maximize the amount of entry speed that you can get by minimizing the radius of the corner, and you go through turn number 5 and 6, and this is very much sort of a rhythm corner. If you get 5 wrong, you're going to get 6 wrong. Then you go towards turn number 8, downhill braking zone, very easy to lock up. Getting onto the power here, you do have to be smooth. You're at a very low speed, you don't have too much downforce, so you've got to be very smooth on the power. Turn number 9, we've seen so many drivers lock up here. Hulkenberg, Norris, Frederick Vesti, loads of lockups there because you're braking and steering at the same time. Then you now go towards the turn number 12 and maximize your entry speed once again, and then flat onto the power because you're in 4th gear, 5th gear. You have got enough downforce to just go foot flat to the floor and carry all of that speed through the next part of the circuit. Then you get onto the final straight as you come across to the as you go through the lap in the final sector, and you've just breaking that 70-meter mark here for the final corner. Touch that apex. The curb has got the entry curb has got a very big bounce, but the exit curb hasn't. You can drive all over the exit curb, and that is a lap of the Bahrain circuit. Let me just get rid of that, and so when I'm talking about the drivers locking up at turn number 9 and 10, that's what I'm referring to. And the track limits, I'll point it out the next time I do sort of an onboard lap, but track limits are a big concern at turn number 4, they're a big concern at turn number 11, and also at the final corner. Those are the 4 biggest offenders of track limits, and the FIA have got their sensors deployed, ready to go to delete any lap times once qualifying rolls around. Okay. Oh, we got a fresh set of softs for Hamilton, fresh set of softs for Dino Beganovic. Let's wait and see what they can do. Beganovic 30.3 in the first sector. It's still quite a bit off Alex Albon's previous lap. So, he's still got a lot of time to improve, but it's his first time in a Formula 1 car as far as I can tell, as far as I can remember. So, we'll cut him some slack. We'll see what Hamilton can do though with the upgrades on his Ferrari. Comes across the start-finish line for a flying lap. Let's see what he can do. Track temperature still up at 46 degrees. It is dropping. It started out the session at 48, now down to 46. I think by the time we reach FP2, it will cool down a little bit because it is reaching towards. Well, by the time we get to FP2, it will get a lot cooler and a lot darker in Bahrain. All right, so Hamilton's on his flying lap. Beganovic comes across the line. That is 12th place for him. Good, good start really. given it's his first time in a Formula 1 car, and we'll see what Hamilton can do. Purple in the first sector, 29.6. And looking good is Lewis Hamilton. The Ferrari looks fairly stable in his hands. It's not bouncing around, it's not twitching around everywhere. Maybe that's because Hamilton's sort of just driving it under the limit, but it does look good. It still also looks like it's got quite a fair amount of fuel in the car as well. So let's take these lap times with a pinch of salt. He activates DRS as he heads towards turn number 11, and up the hill he goes now. Turn number 11 and 12. Felipe Drogovic gets out of the way very, very nicely, and in fact we'll give him a little bit of a tow as he exits turn number 13. Hamilton is a quarter of a second down on Lando Norris's quickest time, a quarter of a second down. So currently in line with Pierre Gasly's lap time, and out of the final corner he comes. What is it going to be for Lewis Hamilton? He opens that DRS flap once again, stays well within track limits as well. Third place for Lewis Hamilton. He goes 0.6 of a second back from Lando Norris. Still quite a bit of improvement left to go by the looks of it. We don't know the fuel loads. Ferrari probably are running a bit of a higher fuel load than McLaren were, just given that 0.6 of a second difference, but we can never be certain. We'll only find out when we roll around for qualifying very, very shortly. Well, not very shortly, tomorrow. Yeah. Is this stream a bit delayed from the official one? Yeah, it's slightly delayed. It's got I think a 35-second delay on it, or a 40-second delay on it, something along those lines. Partly from the data, partly from YouTube, because once we get around to having 40,000, 30,000 people watching the stream, YouTube does have to add a delay into it, otherwise its servers won't be able to keep up. Like, you've got to think about this here. I'm here in the UK, right? And I'm sending the stream over to YouTube, and then YouTube has got to transport it all around the world, make it available to make it accessible on people's phones, on TVs, on laptops, make sure the footage is available in every resolution, like 1080p, in 14, like in all of the resolutions and stuff. So YouTube adds a bit of a delay to make sure the streams doesn't buffer too much. Apologies for that, but I think if you want to sync stuff up, you can just pause the one that's slightly ahead, wait for mine to catch up, and then unpause, and yeah. Okie dokes. Antonelli stays in the pits. Indeed he does. Antonelli has had a water pump issue and he's sat in the pit lane. The engineers are trying to fix it. Antonelli isn't. Okay, so we've got 3 minutes 48 seconds left on the clock, and currently top of the times we've got Lando Norris. Second is Gasly, and third is Lewis Hamilton. Red Bulls are nowhere to be seen. Of course, Ayumu Iwasa isn't going to be setting the world alight with his lap times. He's trying to get some experience in this car, in the Formula 1 cars as a general, and we'll see what he can do. FP2 will be starting in the space of 2.5 hours. So yeah, we'll be underway for FP2 very, very shortly. Also, if you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so. Very much helps out the channel, and hopefully we can make our way towards 2,000 likes, and hopefully we can also get 140k subs by the end of today. Of course, we've got the rest of Free Practice 1, the rest of Free Practice 2 as well, to hit 140k. If they don't push hard in FP sessions, because they'll save it for qualifying and the race. Yeah, it's a slow build-up process, really, especially at Bahrain, where a lot of the lap time is gained by turning the engine mode up. The teams don't want to be turning the engine mode up just to, sort of conserve their tyres, conserve the engine, really. There's no need to turn it up in practice. As long as you're getting close enough data, it should be fine. And engine modes will be turned down for practice for certain. And Okie dokes. What else have we got going on? All right. Not too much really. Everyone's just coming out to do their final couple of laps. The lap times aren't really going to change all that much. Is that why they're on used tyres? Yeah, they're also on used tyres because, well, they have a limited amount of tyres. They don't have unlimited tyres from Pirelli, and they want to ideally conserve them for the race and for qualifying. Yeah. So that is why they have That's why they're blapping around on used sets, and that's why they can also get some information on these medium tyres. Because the thing is, the race is most certainly going to be a two-stop race unless there's something extraordinary that happens. It will most certainly be a two-stop race, and because of that, they do need to understand this tyre wear thoroughly. You know, what happens when the temperature is slightly lower? What happens if we increase our downforce levels a little bit so the car slides around a little bit less? Does that affect the tyre wears a lot? Does it affect it only a little bit? And they'll be looking to gather as much information as possible to optimize their race strategy. You know, what are you going to do? Medium, hard, medium? Are you going to do medium, hard, hard? Are you going to do soft, medium, hard, or soft, hard, hard? Like, what is the strategy you want to do? What is the optimal way to go about doing things? And that's why they're going around doing a bunch of laps. And that's why we can even see Lando Norris. He's doing 138s here on a set of soft tires. What is that? That is a simulation of the first stint of the race. He's got all of the fuel in the car, all 100 kilograms of fuel in the car, and he's simulating what a first stint of the race might look like if he's on a set of soft tyres. And then the teams will probably do another simulation, maybe with Piastri on a set of medium tyres, and they'll be like, oh, let's compare who has the quicker lap times. At what time does the medium tyres become quicker than the soft tyres because the soft tyres wear out too much? So that's what the team is sort of aiming to do. Yeah, we got about 20 seconds left of free practice 1. Thank you everyone for tuning in. It's been a pleasure commentating to you guys, and I'll be streaming again in 2 hours time for free practice 2. The free practice 2 session itself will start in 2.5 hours, but I will start streaming in 2 hours time. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll have all of the normal drivers back in place for free practice 2, and all of the rookies will go back to their respective sessions, you know, for maybe Formula 2, maybe endurance racing, stuff like that. And yeah, that's about it really from me. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and I will see you in 2 hours time for free practice 2. Also, it will take you to the free practice 2 stream, so if you could hit the like button on that one, it really helps out the YouTube algorithm. It just loves it. Like, the algorithm, I've said this multiple times before, but if you hit the like button before the stream starts, it's about 5 times as effective as hitting the like button during the stream. So yeah, if you could hit the like button for FP2, that'd be fantastic. Alright, see you in 2 hours, ladies and gents.